Cardinals, you get a win against a Green Bay Packers, a team that's been in an NFC Championship game back-to-back years. That's just another big mark on the resume and just a confidence booster for organizations that's still gaining credibility.
Damian Woody on Barton Hahn. The College Football Playoff Management Committee will meet next week in Dallas to keep talking about the possible expansion beyond the current 4-team format. Meanwhile, bowl season executives who oversee all 43 bowl games are asking that any future playoff expanded games be played at current bowl sites and not on campus sites.
Introducing ATG by Wrangler. We are all greater outdoors, and this apparel doesn't compromise, conform, or call it quits. So, when you're heading into the wild, wearing ATG should be second nature. Shop Wrangler.com today.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword BANK to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's BANK to 200-200.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, two men, one journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Wicked Weed Brewing. Drink different.
It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy is live and on the air, and we are streaming on YouTube as well. We don't have the double screen up there, Jeremy. What's going on? What's going on?
I love computers. I love things when they work. I don't love them when they don't.
Right. So anyway, we'll get that adjusted on the YouTube stream. Yes, you can see us on YouTube here live in the Ingles studio every afternoon. Now, just go to youtube.com/thesportsocracy, and of course, you can join us for the morning show every morning at 10 a.m. We are live right here, and so anyhow. We've got underachievers, overachievers. What did you call this? Achievers NFL, and deceivers.
No, that was what it was originally called. Then I called it NFL Tricks or Treats.
Tricks or Treats. Okay.
It is Halloween after all.
That is very true. And I'm going to have a Halloween related story coming up later on today in the weird news. Just goes to show you how slow the news cycle can be sometimes. The things that the people will in the news business will focus on. But anyway. We will do tricks or treats in the NFL, as well as Jones Angel be joining us at 4 o'clock for Tar Heel time as the North Carolina Tar Heels get back to football this week after a bye week, going up against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Plus NFL news and notes, la, 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 la.
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers have no receivers tonight. They will be no Devontae Adams, no Marquez Valdez-Scantling, no Alan Lazard. It's just Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones and Robert Tonyan.
Yeah. Which I think it's going to be okay. They're not going to win anyway. So.
I'll give you my pick for this later at the end of this hour. I felt great about it, and now I don't feel as great about it, and I don't know why. Nothing changed. Not one thing changed, and all of a sudden I just don't feel great about it anymore.
Right. Unbelievable. Look, the Arizona Cardinals, they're undefeated. They will probably remain undefeated. They were the favorite going into this game anyway, regardless of who was going to be on the field. Of course, you never count out Aaron Rodgers, especially when he's got all of his weapons. But guess what? He has very little weapons to work with tonight. The Green on Green picks coming up at the end of this hour. All right, tricks or treats in the NFL. We started this out as overachievers and underachievers. To me, there are way many more underachievers than there are overachievers in the league this year.
I don't know that I really agree with you.
Really?
I feel like there are more teams that I was wrong on the low side than I was wrong on the high side.
Okay. Like who? Well, obviously there's the number one.
The Cincinnati
Bengals.
I was egregiously wrong on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
I mean, they're in my top, what I had them at 6.
Mm-hmm.
They're the 6th best team in the NFL. I thought they were going to go about 3-14. The Raiders, I don't think I was high enough.
Mm-hmm.
You just were out to lunch. You thought they were a bottom 10 team in the league.
Oh, dog water. Absolute dog water.
And you were wrong.
Of course I was.
But in terms of teams that have underachieved, there was an article on ESPN.com today about underachieving teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think half of them were underachieving. The Seattle Seahawks. Is that really an underachieving team? I mean, yeah, they've lost 2 games without Russell Wilson, but they were exactly what you thought they were with him. You couldn't have forecast he was going to get hurt.
Right. I don't know. I feel like they are an underachieving team, but it's only because of the injury. Otherwise, they would be middle of the road, win some, lose some, pound the bad teams. And they're not that. They're just not that.
No, they're exactly what I told you they were. They can't stop the run to save their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They can't play defense to save their lives. And outside of Russell Wilson, they just don't have much. The line's bad. See, to me, that's not an underachieving team. That's exactly what I told you they were going to be.
Right.
Now, the fact that you disagreed with me, that's okay. This is not, nothing about that team is surprising to me.
I'd agree.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you look at that team and go, man, they're underachieving?
No.
No, they are exactly what I thought they were. Here's the list to me is 3 in terms of teams that are not nearly as good as I thought they were going to be.
Okay.
San Francisco 49ers.
Bingo.
Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
Washington football team. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Those are the only underachievers you have.
That's it.
You've missed 2 great big ones.
All right.
The Cleveland Browns. And
they're exactly what I told you they were going to be. You're limited at quarterback. You have a lot of ancillary pieces that just don't matter.
Mm-hmm. I had a lot more faith in them than you did, obviously. Your hate for Baker Mayfield just can't make you believe.
It does run deep.
Yeah. I mean, they're 4-3 right now. Yeah, and the prospects for the rest of the season I don't think are good. So I think that's an underachieving team.
They're exactly what I thought they would be. You have a lot of high-profile defensive pieces.
Mm-hmm.
You have a great running game. Yay! That's like saying, hey, I have this really fast car, but I can't drive a stick shift.
Mm-hmm. I didn't hear you say the Washington football team.
I did say the Washington football team.
Oh, you did? Okay.
That was one of the 3 I just said.
Okay. Did you say the Kansas City Chiefs as well?
That's kind of why I brought this up.
Yeah.
Are they underachieving? Sure.
Okay.
Do I think they need something grandiose to fix it? Not really. Stop turning the ball over. That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, they do need something grandiose to fix the defense, but
the defense has always been bad.
I get it.
That's the misnomer here. They've never been good defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Are they slightly worse? Yes. Do you know that solely because Pat Mahomes has turned the ball over a bajillion times? Yes. They were never a stalwart defense. They've been in the bottom 10 3 years in a row.
No. But nobody expected them to be 3-4 7 weeks into the season.
And even with that, look who they've lost to.
Oh, I get it. They're all playoff teams.
They're not just all playoff teams. It's not just that they're all playoff teams. It's that I can argue they've lost to the 4 best teams in the AFC.
Mm-hmm. Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans, the Chargers, and the Ravens. And 2 of them
were on the road.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't think that the Kansas City Chiefs have to be in the underachieving category, in my opinion, because nobody expected this. Patrick Mahomes has thrown 9 interceptions. Nobody saw that coming. A team that had 31 turnovers in the last 2 years and they've got 17 already this year.
All right, be real honest with yourself. They're going to shellac the Giants this week.
Yes.
The Green Bay Packers may or may not have. I mean, I would say Devontae Adams is back. Alan Lazard's unvaccinated, so I can't tell you how long it's going to take before he comes back. Now, this is a long week, but you're going to, if I'm not mistaken, unvaccinated players have to test negative 3 days in a row.
I think that's right.
It's either 3 or 5. If you're telling me I get Aaron Rodgers with just Devontae Adams, I'm probably going to take Kansas City, especially in Kansas City. Then that team's 5-4 going into a stretch with the Raiders, Cowboys, Broncos, Raiders again. They're going to win 2 of those 4. And at that point, you're looking at a team that's 7-6, 8-5. Is that really underachieving, or have they just set the bar so high that you just expected the good times to keep rolling?
Well, I think that's part of it. Part of it is the expectation. I mean, that's what underachieving means, is that, you have this bar that you're supposed to meet, and when you're 13-3 and 12-4 and, nobody expects you to lose 4 out of the first 7 games.
And I would agree with that.
And I've said, at any moment, they could snap their fingers and be done with this. And I will not be shocked. I will not be shocked if they come out this week, beat the New York Giants by 30, and then go on a tear where they lose 2 more ball games the rest of the year.
And see, to me, there's a difference. I'm looking at Kansas City going, the thing that you have done incorrectly, you played a really good schedule, and you've turned the ball over too much. That's pretty correctable. Now look at those 3 other teams. They're just flat out not as good as you thought they were.
Indeed.
That's underachieving to me.
Okay.
There's no path to the Miami Dolphins being better than they are.
No.
There's not.
No.
Tua Tagovailoa has played better than he's probably the 2 best games he's played in his NFL career. Guess what? Both losses. And guess what? Both losses to bottom 5 in the NFL teams. That's an underachiever to me. And the Miami Dolphins are the one team I look at and go, there is absolutely nothing you can do. You are just doomed to be who you are.
Yeah. I would agree.
The Washington football team. We thought that was the best defense in the NFL.
No doubt.
It's arguably the worst. That's underachieving.
Right.
Because I don't know how you're going to fix it. What, is Chase Young going to play better? If you look at Pro Football Focus grades, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but I think he's like top 25 in the NFL.
Right.
Well, you think he's going to get better? No. You can't score. Your offense is atrocious.
Now Ryan Fitzpatrick comes back. That might give it a little bump on the offensive side, and maybe they can turn it around a little bit.
It will help a hair. But at the end of the day, do you still look at? I mean, just think about the power rankings that we did earlier this week. How many teams would the Washington football team actually get in front of if you had Ryan Fitzpatrick in the NFC? Do they get in front of the Minnesota Vikings?
No.
Do they get in front of the New Orleans Saints?
No.
Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, LA Rams,
right?
Arizona Cardinals.
No. All of those are way out of reach.
At best, they get in front of the Carolina Panthers. That's it. And you're still the 10th team in the NFC. That's disappointing because there's nothing you can do to fix it. What you hung your hat on has been a massive, categoric disappointment.
Yep.
Now, of the disappointing teams, there's one that I look at and go, I don't know why I think you can fix this, but I do.
Okay.
It's the San Francisco 49ers.
And how do you fix it? Trey Lance? Is he your solution?
I don't think he could hurt. I looked this up.
Okay.
If you're looking at estimated win projections, how many quarterbacks in the NFL have been worse than Jimmy Garoppolo this year?
5.
It's 1, and it's Justin Fields.
Really?
That's it. There's not another one.
Estimated.
So how much worse could he be? Then basically, that's how many games are you going to win? It's an analytical stat of, with you as a starter, how many more games would a team win than if it was me?
Right.
That's not me. Me would be bad.
No, it would be league average.
If it was Colt McCoy. Jimmy Garoppolo's been terrible. So are you going to have to change things around? Is the offense going to have to look different? Sure. Are you going to have to dumb down this playbook that I have heard is one of the most unbelievable things you'll ever see in the NFL? Yeah.
You're going to have to figure out a way to get Brandon Ayuk and in some kind of
That's
playing
the comical
shape.
part to me, is that you have this talented receiver in Brandon Ayuk that you're really invested in, and you still can't figure out a way to get him the ball.
Exactly. You don't know how to use him, apparently. I mean, you used him well last year. I don't know what's changed to make that different. I mean, did he have the Space Jam football? Did he just get all of his abilities sucked out of him in the offseason?
Garoppolo?
No, I'm talking about Brandon Ayuk.
Oh, no, they just can't get him the ball.
Right.
And you know why you can't get him the ball?
Because Garoppolo
there's no
sucks.
George Kittle to take coverage away from him.
Well, he'll be
You've
back
got
next
Deebo
week.
Samuel.
So.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, my question is, the fear would be, oh, Jimmy gives us the best opportunity to win games. Does he, though? Because with Trey Lance, I watched you go blow for blow with the best team in the NFL. In their house. Was it pretty? No. It wasn't pretty. It was hard to watch, to be really honest with you. But at the end of the day, how much worse is it going to be? Okay, now we run the ball 45 times a game. I didn't ask how pretty it looked.
Right.
I asked who was an underachiever and who wasn't. San Francisco is. Because you're trying to be something that you're not. San Francisco was predicated on being a team that could put anybody in at running back, and you're still going to be really hard to stop with that zone blocking scheme. They have one running back on this roster. Eli Mitchell.
That's the only one? Yeah. Trey Sermon has blown up in their faces, which is a great call by you in the draft process.
I said Trey Sermon wouldn't even be on my board.
And the 49ers didn't take long to figure it out. But they've lost 4 games in a row, and they've got to turn it around. And guess what? They could do that. They could do that this week.
Yeah, because guess who you get this week?
The Chicago
The
Bears.
Chicago Bears.
Oh, without the 2 best pass rushers.
Yeah, no Robert Quinn and no Khalil Mack. If you're looking for a layup, go to betus.com, use promo code Sportsocracy, and take the San Francisco 49ers minus the 4.
Right. And then you look at the back end of that schedule, and it's not too horrible. You get the Jaguars, you got the Vikings, and the Seahawks, and the Falcons, and the Texans. They've got the ability to win some games down the stretch, and if you can bring Trey Lance in and he adds a new wrinkle to your offense and you're able to finally have a healthy George Kittle and you're able to figure out how to get Brandon Ayuk the ball, guess what? This is now a team that can contend with some of the best teams that they're going to face down the stretch.
Well, the misnomer is that Garoppolo gives you a better opportunity to press the ball down the field. Do you know how often Jimmy Garoppolo is throwing the ball right now?
Like what percentage of his snaps?
No. Like how many pass attempts is San Francisco at per game?
Oh, is it like 18?
He's 4 north a game of Jameis Winston, who we've literally made fun of on this show because it looks like they're just terrified to put the ball in his hand and give him the ability to do what he wants to do. It's not like Trey Lance would change this that much. It's a misnomer that Jimmy Garoppolo's back there like Tom Brady throwing it 40 times a game.
Right.
And the reason is because they can't stay on the field. You can't convert first downs because you can't run. Well, you got a running back that can run. You have 2 receivers that I like both of. And you've got a George Kittle that I think is one of the 3 best tight ends in the league. I wanted to say 2, but I can't find a way to put him ahead of Darren Waller or Travis Kelce anymore.
No. I don't think he's ever been ahead of them. But
that is a fixable problem. And is it going to be ugly and is it going to be clunky? Yeah, probably. Are you statistic? Are the analytical people going to love you? No. But you can win games that way.
And that's the only team you think can fix it.
That's the only underachiever I'm looking at going, there is a tangible fix here. Seattle, even when Russell Wilson comes back, you're playing behind a Swiss cheese offensive line. You can't run, and your defense is pathetic.
Yeah. And you're still going to lose more games than you win.
And I know somebody somewhere is thinking, but the Carolina Panthers, they're not underachieving. If I'd have told you they were 3-4 through 7 games,
yeah, it wouldn't be all that shocked.
Exactly where you thought they would be?
Yeah.
Maybe you would have transversed the numbers and thought they'd be 4-3. If I'm being honest, they really overachieved through the first 3 weeks. And I think when Christian McCaffrey comes back, it's all of a sudden going to look much more like that than it has in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know that I can agree with you just by looking at the schedule and who they beat, because I thought there would be zero chance that they would lose to the Eagles, the zero chance that they would lose to the New York Giants. You've already lost 2 of the games that I thought were surefire wins on your schedule. And, when you're in the NFL, it's hard to recover. After, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat and pull a surprise every now and then if you want to be the team that's shocking everybody making the playoffs, which is exactly what I thought the Carolina Panthers should be. Here, I will say this. The Panthers as a whole may not be an underachieving team. However, I will say I think regardless of all the issues he has faced, Sam Darnold has been an underachiever for me this year. I thought he would be much better.
And he was, until you took away the best weapon on the offense.
Sure.
And then his receivers have done him no favors.
Oh, gosh.
You have 18 drops between 3 receivers.
Mm-hmm. And is that just a case of fumbleitis amongst the team? Or is that because Sam's not that good, because he's not getting them the ball in stride the way he's supposed to?
Well, that's not how a drop works. A drop is a should-have-been-caught ball.
Right.
If it's behind you, they don't count it. And now, is there some judgment in that? Yes. I'll be honest with you. I have DJ Moore with more drops than the NFL does.
Right.
Because they put 2 on Sam that I completely disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's not an underachieving team. Now, there are a series of overachievers, and I think most of those are going to continue. But there's one that I'm looking at going, this is fool's gold.
We'll tell you who it is up next right here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Again, the first hour of the program brought to you by Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, we've been talking about this big Pacific front crossing the country all week long, and here it comes up from the west and southwest with half-inch rains for Asheville tonight. Moving northeast, low 46 degrees. Quarter-inch rains tomorrow, high 53, and some pretty good wind out there for tonight out of the southeast ahead of this front. Then light showers Saturday, high 55. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer. Come rain or shine. High winds or mild breezes. Blue skies or gray. It's a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Tired of living with awful joint pain? If you've been to an orthopedic surgeon, you know the drill. Pain meds, steroids, physical therapy, right? When those Band-Aids don't work, you know what's next? Surgery. Major surgery. Don't do it. Not until you've checked out QC Kinetics. Get a second opinion. Learn about natural biological treatments, restorative, regenerative alternatives that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, back, and hips, other joints as well. QC Kinetics uses natural biologics from your own body and concentrates them in the precise damaged area for lasting relief. And it's an office treatment with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't go under the knife if you don't have to. Call QC Kinetics and get a second opinion now. You have nothing to lose. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. Non-surgical regenerative options are here. Call 828-333-9517.
The way you set up the tree, how you hang every light. The holidays are what you make them. Make them even more with Lowe's. With everyday low prices on pre-lit artificial trees starting at $99 and Christmas lights at $298. Even festive inflatables starting at $14.98. So you can make your holiday twice as nice, twice as merry at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last. Available on Lowe's.com everywhere. Valid 10/28 through 11/3.
Help the planet with a tip from iHeartRadio Earth. Water heating can account for up to 25% of the energy consumed in your home. Save money and energy and improve the comfort of your home by turning down the temperature of your water heater from 140 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. It can save you up to 22% on your energy bill annually. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
Hey guys, I'm Ziggy, your local Philly girl, owner of Ziggy's Bakery and Deli. I've created a traditional northern deli with only the most authentic cheesesteaks outside of Philadelphia, served with provolone, white American, or Cheese Whiz. Our other classic deli sandwiches are made with the best quality meats and cheeses, available sliced by the pound. Join us for breakfast for house-made bagels with our custom cream cheeses. Or for something heartier, try a pork roll, egg and cheese, or house-cured lox. Ziggy's Bakery and Deli, in the corner of Asheville Commons, 1550 Hendersonville Road, open 8 to 3, Tuesday through Saturday.
Pernicious, adjective, having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Now, Wicked Weed's flagship IPA, winner of a silver medal at the U.S. Open Beer Championships, isn't harmful unless you're a competing IPA. Brewed in the mountains of western North Carolina, Pernicious IPA will destroy your expectations for all others in its class. Pernicious IPA inspires you to enjoy fresh and often. Order up at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, the official craft beer of Furman Athletics. Drink different, drink responsibly.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot? Right you are.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene's alongside. We're talking tricks and treats. I mean, Halloween's coming around the corner. And
I have a tremendous Halloween costume that I will be I'll be
so
wearing
excited.
Sunday. Apparently,
I'm so excited about this costume.
I'm doing our Sunday morning fantasy football show, 11 a.m. YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I'll answer all your fantasy football start-sit questions, gambling questions, anything that you're after, all by my lonesome. And I'll be doing it in costume. It's Halloween.
I can't wait to see how this goes.
It's pretty funny, I'm not going to lie. I mean, look, when you have hair like mine and a beard like mine, you're kind of shoehorned into you've only got like 6 costumes that you can possibly wear.
Oh, yeah. Viking comes to mind.
Yeah,
I don't know why you didn't do that.
Yeah, because no. I don't even like the Minnesota Vikings. I did a Viking wedding one time.
I know.
But still, to this day,
everybody came dressed as Vikings.
Like, how
strange.
are you that committed to to any television show?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I laud you for it. I wish I loved anything that much that wasn't my wife. Television shows, they get canceled. I'm like, nah, that's fine.
Football.
I'll find
You're
another
dedicated to football that way.
Yes. And the Jets.
There's no difference.
We had a question on the morning show this morning of if something happened to the Jets and they disbanded, who would I pull for? The officials. Because I hate all 31 other teams, just in different realms.
Mm-hmm. We finally did get you to cave, though. That if you had to pick a team.
Yeah, but there was such a caveat. It was an aggressive caveat.
What's the spirit of the question? The spirit of the question is if you had to choose. So, I mean, the only way you can get Jeremy to do that is either to promise to shoot him in the head or to take his beer away. And we chose the lesser of the two evils and went with death. Because without alcohol, Jeremy may die.
And funny you said the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Because that's the overachiever that I'm afraid it's not going to keep happening.
Oh, you think they're in for some kind of a downfall?
I think there could be a harsh crash back to earth for the Arizona Cardinals.
And what is that? Explain that, what that means.
It's a mixture of things.
Okay.
So the big difference that from what I have seen is vet leadership.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, you just lost the best vet on the defense.
Yeah.
J.J. Watt's done for the year.
Yep.
I know he's superhuman and he heals at a weird rate. He ain't coming back from this.
No.
I know there's been a lot of hypothesizing on Twitter that, maybe if they did it with Band-Aids, he could come back for the playoffs. He's not coming back from this.
Right.
So you take him away, who was serving as some interior pass rush at times, and now you just look at how the defense is built, and you're going, man, you get little in a hurry. And I could see a path where they begin struggling with teams that run.
Okay.
You're just running out of bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, they're going to score. Nothing's going to change that. And I'm not, my crash back to earth is right now they're the best team in the NFL. And I just don't think that they are. I was on this team last year. I like this team.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you just lost a huge piece, and everybody's just kind of sweeping it under the rug, and this is a much bigger deal than people think it is. Even in a game where he tore his shoulder out, he still played 75% of the snaps.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done that in every game this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Who else are you scared of? Look at that front seven.
Chandler Jones.
Who's been in and out of the lineup, and now he's all I'm worried about. The beauty of J.J. Watt was now I have somebody else that you would have to fixate on.
Right.
Now you don't have that. Now you got Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons.
Now, you can still make a trade. You can find somebody.
I will say the only thing I've heard is that they are interested in Melvin Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
And even then I'm looking at it going, okay, the guy the Steelers are looking at going, we're good. It's fine. You can have him. There's a huge drop-off there.
Of course there is.
And
but
I'm just
J.J.
looking at
Watt
the schedule going, you know what a lot of the teams they have left have in common?
What's that?
They all run the ball really well. Not all, but the vast majority.
I was going to say, really well?
Packers, that's who they play tonight. Yeah, they run the ball pretty well. It's just sometimes they choose not to.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers, they still have that scheme, and I still like Elijah Mitchell. Panthers will have McCaffrey back, and then you get the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't.
No.
The Bears do, the Rams do, the Lions do, the Colts do, the Cowboys do, and then you're back to the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, other than the Seattle Seahawks, you do not play a team for the rest of the year that cannot grind clocks away on you because you're running out of big bodies.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Okay. But there again, grind the clock on me. I'm going to get the ball back, and I'm going to score in 3 minutes.
Yes, but the way that you beat offenses like that, you keep their defense on the field.
Sure.
That's always been the drawback of that spread. Oh, look, hey, we can score ridiculously quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. I just grinded your defense down the field, and you're going to put them back on the field 4 minutes later.
Right.
That's a cycle of screaming. I could argue there's no player on this team not named Kyler Murray that's more important than J.J. Watt.
All right, give me an absolute worst. Absolute worst. They're already sitting at 7-0. We feel like they could be 8-0 after tonight.
Maybe.
Without the weapons, there's a possibility. A really good possibility that they will end up victorious tonight against the Green Bay Packers.
The more you talk, the more I want to waffle on this pick.
I mean, that's fine. You can waffle all you want to. But really, what's the floor here?
The floor for the
losses?
Cardinals? Oh, no, it's higher than that. They could lose tonight. They could lose next week. They could lose to the Panthers. I don't see a way they're losing to the Seahawks either time. I don't think they're losing to the Bears. I don't think they're losing to the Lions. They could lose 6 games. They could start 7-0 and go 11-6.
Mm-hmm.
And then go into the playoffs limping in like a car with one wheel that's left inflated. That's my fear.
Yeah.
Is that now J.J. Watt, when you hear teams say, and every member of the Arizona Cardinals has said this, the big difference now is the vet leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the best vet leader just walked out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Not of his own choosing, but the loudest voice in that room just walked out. And when you look at that defense and you're really honest with yourself, it is really young. It's hyper talented, but it's very young.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not real sure who's going to be that voice. And when things go sideways, I'm not sure who's going to be there to pick up the pieces.
Okay.
And look, I'm not saying this team's going to miss the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I could see a massive second half regression for the Arizona Cardinals.
I think you're asking a lot in that. I mean, first off, you got to have a big turnaround in 1 week or 2 weeks for San Francisco to even be competitive in that game.
San Francisco was competitive with them 2 weeks ago when they played in Arizona.
Yeah.
What, that just doesn't count?
Nah, I saw that game more as an anomaly than anything.
What was the anomaly? Arizona did not move the ball well at all. They couldn't score.
That was pretty much the anomaly. They've done that against every other team except for them.
But they didn't that one.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
I mean, there are anomalies. When you look at a stat box and go, well, that doesn't make any sense. There was none of that. San Francisco couldn't move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an anomaly. I'll be honest with you. I obviously don't know the line because this game hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me that Arizona went into San Francisco next week and lost, I wouldn't be shocked in the least. In the least.
Okay. I have a hard time seeing it. So Arizona is the one team that you say can't sustain what they're doing right now.
Because sans J.J. Watt, this is the exact same team that missed the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kyler Murray's been so good. He was good last year. I argued through half the season that he was the MVP.
The Sports Tag.
Just a bit outside.
All right, here's the 411, folks.
All right, last night in the NBA, we had another high watermark game for Russell Westbrook. Oh, Russell Westbrook doing it for the 6th time in his career. That's a record. That's a record. Quadruple double. And no, it's not a good thing. He didn't have 10 blocks. He had 10 turnovers last night. The 6th time in his career he's recorded a quadruple double. And he is so good. He is so good, but he is so bad for other guys on his team.
Russell Westbrook's not a good NBA player.
Oh.
And if you ever needed evidence of it, just look at last night.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, the dribble drive, hey, it works. Malik Monk, all the things are growing great.
Yep.
Then the shots started, the shots stopped falling. And Russ went, oh, I have to take it on my shoulders. And all of a sudden, they turned into the 2017 Oklahoma City Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Lakers. You didn't cost me a fortune or anything.
And they went from a 23-point lead.
They're up 23 points in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And you lost to the worst team in the NBA.
It was
Russell
very,
Westbrook
very
is
bad.
one of those players that I swear to you, I will fight about this until I die.
Mm-hmm.
I hear people talk about how good he is. He is the Sasquatch of the NBA. I hear people tell me how good he is, and then I watch him and go, why am I not seeing this? To me, Russell Westbrook defenders are like that weird guy that you went to high school with. It's like, I saw a Sasquatch in the woods, and he takes you out there, and there's like a pile of poo, and he goes, there it is. That's why I saw the Sasquatch. Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
He's not here anymore, and you look like a crazy person.
Right. 20 points, 14 boards, 13 assists, 10 turnovers last night. The quadruple double, and it's the 6th time in his career he's done that.
And he cost Jeremy a boatload.
We all feel sorry for you about that.
No,
we really do.
I can sense it by your tone. Tanks fighting Seattle Kraken got their first home win last night, and they started a tradition that I don't think I've ever seen before. There is a common practice in the NHL that when hat tricks happen, they will throw fish on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Squid, they do squid in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last night, the Seattle Kraken, they had their 3 stars of the game. That's a thing hockey teams do. It's the 3 players that led to the victory. And they skate out, and they wave at the crowd, and then they skate back in. Well, last night they did that, and their 3 stars all had stuffed salmon that they were throwing into the crowd.
Yep.
They had signed them all. Did you know that?
Yeah.
They had signed these stuffed salmon and threw them into the crowd. This was the idea of one of their marketing teams. Because there's a fish toss in Seattle that's very well known. It wasn't known to me, but... Yeah, I don't...
The Seattle fish market, you've never seen... literally on every sporting event that has ever been covered in Seattle, there's always that shot of... somebody at the Joe Buck or somebody at the fish market catching fish.
Yeah, I don't watch those. Those little puff pieces they do. You can rest assured tonight when you watch Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
And they do the little puff piece, and it's Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, and they're talking about Marvel movies or whatever. You rest assured, I'm in my refrigerator looking for something to consume. Or I'm standing on my balcony staring at the stars or at something. But yeah, I thought it was a cool moment. When you can find things like that tie the community in, that was a cool idea. Anytime I see marketing things like that, you have to give the kudos.
Right. The Seattle Kraken is doing everything they can to become the new premier team there. And it comes at a time when the Seattle Seahawks are not good. Russ is hurt. It's the perfect time. Your baseball team's not good. I mean, they're all right.
They're not good.
I mean, they have their moments. They have their little win streaks here and there. They have their little win streaks here and there. But the Seattle Kraken, they're the hot new thing in town. They've got the coolest logo in sports. They got the best colors in sports. And now throwing stuffed salmon to your fans. This is one more cool little thing to add on to it.
You're just doing it right.
Exactly. Just doing it right. All right, other teams in the NFL talking tricks and tricks or treats, underachievers, overachievers for the 2021 season so far. Obviously, we talked about the Arizona Cardinals. Jeremy's predicting doom and gloom for them come down the second half of the season.
I could see a flat tire coming.
He could see a path where they end up limping into the playoffs and not being the best team in the NFC.
Well, historically, there's always one of these.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the standings at the midway point, there's historically a team that will be very high that either ends up out of the playoffs or they limp in. That is the only team in the NFL I can see that happening to. There's another one, but I don't really consider them to be a playoff team. I know their record is good, but they're not.
Okay.
It's the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are the worst 4-2 team I have ever seen in my life.
No doubt.
That team is not good.
Mm-hmm.
And as I went down the rabbit hole of, okay, well, you beat the Packers, and the other three teams you've beaten are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And you've lost to two pretty mediocre teams. And then you look at their schedule and go, shoot, buddy, there are a whole mess of losses there.
Yeah.
Still have to play the Buccaneers twice, starting this week.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, that's another one. BetUs.com, promo code SportsOcracy.
Yep.
The Bucs are only a 5.5-point favorite, and that is dumb.
Yep.
How much better is New Orleans than Atlanta? We made a bet on this on the morning show
we did.
A while back.
We did.
And you just chalked that up like, there's no doubt I'm going to win this.
Yeah.
I'm not as certain of that as you are.
I'm 100% certain of that. Yeah.
Have you looked at both of their schedules?
I mean, not recently.
Yeah, you should. You really should. Because the Falcons, I think, play every bad team in the NFL.
Okay.
I don't think there is a just terrible team in this league that they don't play outside of the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
They've already gotten the Jets. They still get the Jaguars and the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Saints twice, who I don't love. They play the Patriots. I'm looking at that going, I could see a path that I still win this.
Because the wager was that the Saints will finish ahead of the Atlanta Falcons. They will have more wins in the division. Yeah. And
I'm just seeing a path here where, I'll be honest with you, I don't think they're any better.
The problem with that is that I don't know that the Atlanta Falcons are going to get better. I'm pretty darn certain that the New Orleans Saints will get better.
But what tells you that?
The fact that I'm going to get one of the best wide receivers in the NFL back in a couple of weeks.
And again, I'm going to say the same thing about Michael Thomas that I've said before.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been good with anyone else.
He never had anybody else.
Yes, he has. He had several games at Taysom Hill last year. And he had one game, which I still look back on and go, did you just forget he was here?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who that was against, but he had like 11 catches for 160 yards or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so certain that Michael Thomas is the receiver we all think he is. I mean, I think he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he's going to fix this offense because this offense is bad.
He's going to make them better, though, I believe.
I still come back to Jameis Winston and go, Sean Payton, trust you about as much as I trust gas station sushi. I'm not so sure how I can get to that you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason that I didn't really put them on this list is because I don't think anybody believes they're a playoff team.
I don't think they are. To me, they're not a playoff team. The Atlanta Falcons are not a playoff team to me either.
No, I lump them pretty well together.
And I'll agree with you. I mean, it's not a market jump between the two teams. I mean, you go unit by unit. The offenses,
they're the same team in reverse.
Yeah,
the Falcons defense is dreadful.
Yeah.
The New Orleans Saints offense is dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons offense is pretty good. Saints defense is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm still feeling pretty comfortable on my side of that wager, and it's a little closer than I'd like it to be. But I didn't think the New Orleans Saints were going to be a playoff team anyway.
Is it as close as the Jets were to covering for you last week?
Not quite that close.
Hashtag Jets plus
Not
7.
quite.
We did our picks. That will be out tomorrow
Fool's
morning.
gold.
Our Week 8 game previews will be out tomorrow morning in the Sportsocracy, 10 a.m., and you'll be able to see all of our picks against the spread, betting picks, fantasy, all those good things. You didn't have anything that was totally insane this week.
No.
There was no Jets plus 7.
No, there was no Jets plus 7.
And I could tell there were a couple times that you were going, is this the one? Is this the one that they did it? Don't do it.
I tried to talk myself off the ledge on a couple of them. But, you know, I like to be a wild and crazy guy. I like to take some swings every now and then. Like this one. You talked about Fool's Gold, the team that is going to crash after a good start to the season. Mine's the Raiders. It's the Raiders.
What did the Raiders do to you in a past
They
life?
hurt me in my subconscious, I guess. I'm just completely, terribly offended by Mark Davis and his whole that
starter jacket with a backpack.
You need to do something with your face, your face and your hair, and the fact that you dress like a teenager and you're 70 years old. You have more money than God, and there's something about you that I don't like. Now, listen. The Raiders don't have the easiest schedule coming up.
No, but it's not as daunting as you would think.
Okay, well, if we say that the Chiefs can flip a switch, that's a game that they could lose. They could lose both of those. They have to face the Cincinnati Bengals. If you think the Bengals are real, then they could win that game against the Raiders. Then they got to go to the Cowboys, and they also have the Chargers and the Colts still left on their schedule. This is a team that could still end. They're 5-2 right now. Great. But again, other than the Ravens on opening night, you haven't beaten anybody that impresses me. And you lost to the Bears. And I know. There was a lot going on at that time. I get it. I give them a break for that. But I just look at this team and I go, I still can't believe that it's real. Maybe you're right about me, Jeremy. Maybe I just need too much evidence.
You do.
I need it to be. I need it to be 6 inches away from the goal line to believe that somebody's going to score.
You would be, and I'm going to tell Asheville Police Chief David Zach this tomorrow when he comes in to pick games with us.
Yeah.
You would be the worst detective in the history of time. You have all the evidence to the contrary. You're like, nope, I still don't believe it.
Nope.
Well, there's a guy in a slicker standing over there with a bloody knife. I think I know who did it. I don't need it. Nope. Didn't see it. Need more. I need more.
Reasonable doubt.
Yeah. Reasonable. Reasonable is where that's where that argument falls apart for me.
Stop it, Mr. Birds Aren't Real.
Hey. All I'm saying, have you noticed that since I got here, when I got here 3 years ago, there were like 8 birds out in that field. Now there's like 1,000. Okay, you know why? Because they know there's somebody in that building that is spreading truth, and they don't like it.
I want to say that the Cincinnati Bengals are fool's gold, but that would be stupid. That would be Jets plus 7 stupid.
And I'll be honest with you, I think your take on the Raiders is it's not quite there, but it's pretty close.
Really?
Yes, it is pretty close.
You just look at the rest of this season and go, yeah, they're easily going to be 12-5.
I mean, I'm looking at the schedule right now. They play the Giants.
Oh, that's a win.
They play the Chiefs twice. They're going to win at least one of those. Might win them both. Depends on if Pat Mahomes just can't stop throwing it to the
if it continues,
jersey.
Sure.
Washington football team. Browns. Broncos.
That's
the
only
Colts
once.
as a toss-up?
Yeah.
What do you mean that's only once?
That's what I'm saying. There's 4 more no-doubt wins on that schedule, and that's it.
Well, what I just said, well.
Yeah. Giants, Washington football team, Broncos, Browns. Those are the 4. The others.
And there's a Chiefs win in there.
Yeah.
They beat the Chiefs when the Chiefs were good.
Oh,
They're going to beat the Chiefs once.
I understand.
All right, well, that puts you at 10-7 at worst. And that's assuming they lose to the Bengals in Vegas. They lose to the Cowboys, who I do not know how they would stop Darren Waller. They lose at the Colts, and they lose to the Chargers at home. Yeah, that's 10-7 puts you in the playoffs in the AFC.
Okay.
So you keep putting your fingers in your ears about the Raiders as long as you want to. It's making less and less sense as we're going on.
Okay. Well, a 10-7 finish would be a far cry from being number 2, where they would currently sit in the playoff pecking order. So,
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, by your logic, the Cincinnati Bengals are probably not going to win that division. You think that's a great fall?
No.
Because they're very equivalent.
No, because I look at their schedule and I go, I don't really see much of a chance of you losing more than 5 games, if that.
And I look at the Raiders and go, you're not losing more than 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say you probably go 11-6, 12-5.
It's a market improvement from what I thought they would be. Yes, I'm still wrong about them, but I'm not jumping off the bridge going, oh, my God, they were the second best team in the AFC. No, you ain't there. You ain't there yet. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Green on Green. It's coming up next.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
Don't let unused insurance dollars go to waste. Most insurance plans cover 2 dental cleanings and exams each year before expiring on January 1st. Maximize the dental insurance benefits you're already paying for and schedule your exam today with Asheville Smiles. Dr. Merrill's mission is world-class dental care through technology and research, so you'll get the most advanced treatment with the comforts of home. Schedule your exam now before the end of the year rush at AshevilleSmiles.com.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
The way you set up the tree, how you hang every light. The holidays are what you make them. Make them even more with Lowe's. With everyday low prices on pre-lit artificial trees starting at $99 and Christmas lights at $298. Even festive inflatables starting at $14.98. So you can make your holiday twice as nice, twice as merry at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. While supplies last, available on Lowe's.com everywhere, about 10/28 through 11/3.
Panera believes in saying yes. Yes to clean, fresh ingredients. Yes to the new chicken sausage and pepperoni flatbread topped with rich mozzarella. Yes to delicious mac and cheese. Yes to putting it on a sandwich, creating the grilled mac and cheese sandwich. And yes to impromptu road trips to Sandwich, Illinois. Because that's living life to the flavor fullest. Get $1 delivery when you order on our app. Panera. Live your yes. Pricing and product availability may vary. Visit PaneraBread.com.
Be the one.
Howell, first down and more. Goodbye. Magical play by Sam Howell. And it's intercepted. Holy cow, Carolina's going to win. Light that bell tower blue.
Carolina ventures north to face Notre Dame on Saturday. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7:30. Right here on your home for Carolina football.
The Tar Heels play here. This is ESPN Asheville.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Coffee closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Well, last night was fun. I gave you a no-doubt lock pick that was up 25 in the first quarter, and they still found a way to not cover. We will try to get some retribution tonight. I have 4 picks in 3 different sports. The first one, the New York Knicks are a 1-point dog at the Chicago Bulls tonight. I understand Chicago's been good. New York's still one of the best defensive teams in the league. I don't like that. I mean, I personally love the fact I'm catching a point. I don't like this line. I'll take the Knicks outright. They win this game. Give me the Knicks +1. Coastal Carolina's a 17-point favorite tonight at home against Troy. That team is going to be really, really angry after last week.
Oh, yeah.
And the mullets will be out. I saw this number and went, well, you said 30 wrong. Coastal Carolina will win this. The score projection I have is 48-10. So give me the Chanticleers minus the 17. Tonight, the NFL Thursday Night Football. The Arizona Cardinals are a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under is 50.5. Green Bay has no receivers, and I'm not going to lie. The closer we've gotten to this, the more I'm starting to doubt this. Aaron Rodgers is going to find some way to win this game. But I'm going to stick to my pick. I've got the Arizona Cardinals minus the 6.5. I think you're going to see a lot of running from Green Bay tonight, and I think they're going to be effective at it. So I'll go under the 50.5. Give me the Cardinals minus 6.5.
Thursday Night Football.
Money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
Sorry, I stepped on Alec Baldwin there.
Don't make the joke.
Don't
do it.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. You got a quick monkey knife fight?
I do.
All right, let's get into it here. monkeyknifefight.com. Use the promo code TANK, T-A-N-K. When you make your deposit, they'll match it up to $50 and give you a $5 free play, which you can use on tonight's game, Jeremy.
I am playing the more or less 3.6x multiplier between the New York Knicks. I will go over on points for Julius Randle. I will go over on points for DeMar DeRozan.
All right, monkeyknifefight.com. Promo code TANK, T-A-N-K. Coming up after the Sports Center update, it will be Tar Heel time with Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, as they get ready to take on Notre Dame up in South Bend this weekend. Going to be fun. We'll get all the ins and outs with Jones coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, we've been talking about this big Pacific front crossing the country all week long, and here it comes up from the west and southwest with half-inch rains for Asheville tonight. Moving northeast, low 46 degrees. Quarter-inch rains tomorrow, high 53, and some pretty good wind out there for tonight out of the southeast ahead of this front. Then light showers Saturday, high 55. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by JCPenney. Jumpstart the season with big holiday savings now through Sunday. Jumpstart the season with big holiday savings from JCPenney now through Sunday. Let the fun begin with exciting deals on toys. Or use your coupon to save an extra 25% on select outerwear for the family and holiday home decor.
Friday, October 29th. Don't miss Columbia, Nashville recording artist Cameron Marlowe on the Silverado's outdoor stage. Tickets at silveradoswnc.com. North Carolina native Cameron Marlowe live in Black Mountain at Silverado's. Get your tickets today at silveradoswnc.com. Don't miss Cameron Marlowe, Friday, October 29th.
Festivals, football, the great outdoors. Some people say fall is the best time of the year. It may also be a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Killer hits, commercial free. That's Halloween Radio on the free iHeart app. This spooky station is filled with non-stop Halloween hits. Or treat yourself to hundreds of spine-chilling tales told around campfires on Ghost Stories Radio.
No, don't!
Plus, iHeart helps turn your house into the neighborhood's haunted headquarters with 3D Haunted House Radio. Download the free iHeart app today, where everything you need for Halloween is all there, waiting for you. iHeart. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
They're still perfect at 7-0. The Packers have won 6 straight after losing their opener. They'll meet in Glendale tonight. Aaron Rodgers' drama-filled summer seems long behind him. Or is it? ESPN's Adam Schefter on KJ and Max.
When you are winning in the NFL, most everybody's having the time of their life. Everybody in Arizona is having the time of their life. I still am not convinced that anything's different with the situation, and it's tabled for this season.
Schefter says no Marquez Valdez-Scantling for the Packers tonight. DeAndre Hopkins, though, is expected to play for Arizona. The NFL is making changes in the Rooney Rule to encourage diversity, equity, and inclusion in hiring around the league. All teams will now be required to interview at least 2 outside minority candidates for GM and coordinator positions. Head coaching vacancies already had that requirement. College football tonight. Troy plays at number 24 Coastal Carolina, 7:30 Eastern for the coverage on ESPN2.
Sign up with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, and use code CJR to get a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword WIN to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's WIN to 200-200.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit. Let's go! Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, The Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingalls Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. And Wicked Weed Brewing. Drink different.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Green's alongside. We are in the Ingalls studio. Second hour of the Sportsocracy, always brought to you by brought to you by Wicked Weed Brewing. Check them out at wickedweedbrewing.com. Wicked Weed Brewing, drink different, 4 o'clock on a Thursday. You know what that means? It means it's Tar Heel time with Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, as the Heels getting ready to experience one of the greatest traditions in college football, heading up to South Bend to take on Notre Dame. Jones, welcome into the program here, and so you got a win over Miami. It was very, very hard fought, very close win 2 weeks ago, but you had the bye week. Now you got Notre Dame coming up. What's been the tenor around the program in the off week?
Yeah, wasn't that a weird game against Miami, Tank? It's like it wasn't a very dramatic game until it was dramatic at the end. Yeah, the Tar Heels, I thought, played really well in the first half of that game. Outside of that one play, the pick six, which was a good play by Miami's defense. And other than that, Carolina only gave up 80 yards in that first half and led by multiple scores at the break. But as has been the story, Tank, and as you and I have talked about through this year, it's just the second half just wasn't the same. And it hasn't been that exact formula every game, but it's just been that inconsistency of the level of play. And you saw it again where in the second half, Carolina had the ball 6 times, scored twice, but went 3 and out in the other 4, and then gave up 80 yards, as I said, in the first half, and then gave up more than 350 in the second half. So I think the focus during the bye week has been multifold. Number one is just get some rest, obviously. The guys did have a couple of days off last weekend, so rest your body, rest your mind, just take a break. I think it was an opportunity to get a lot of young guys some elevated reps in practice, both to see what the situation is moving forward as far as next season, the year after that, some of these guys who are going to play elevated roles, see if any of them may be ready to give you some more snaps right now. And then also just a look in the mirror, right? A self-scout of and they do that all the time, but I think it gives you more time to be a little more extensive with it of what's gone right, what hasn't gone right, what are you doing well, what needs to go, all those different things. And so felt like it came at a good time within the season, and now it's up to the Tar Heels to make it pay off, starting with Notre Dame, but down the stretch that we've talked about is a really tough final 5 games that the Tar Heels have.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the first of 3 straight games against ranked opponents. You got number 11 Notre Dame. Then you got to take Wake Forest on, who hasn't lost yet. And then you got Pittsburgh, who, I mean, they bring their own set of troubles with that defense and with Kenny Pickett. But Notre Dame coming up this week, I mean, this is a tough place to play on the road, prime time, at night. You got Touchdown Jesus in the background. It's a daunting place to try to go in and snag a win, especially when you look at a team like Notre Dame that, maybe this year just hasn't lived up to their expectations. I mean, they're 6-1, of course, but this was a team that had national championship hopes. What's the biggest issue that the Tar Heels are going to face here?
Well, I mean, the biggest issue is who you're playing, right?
Oh,
I mean, the reason that Notre Dame is so good at home is because Notre Dame's so good. It doesn't matter if it's home or away, but they are extra good in South Bend. They've won 27 of the last 28 at home. I think it's 34 straight now that they've won against unranked opponents, which the Tar Heels currently are.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not something that history tells you it's going to make Notre Dame uncomfortable. Notre Dame also is not a team that is going to make a lot of mistakes and give you a wide open door to get a big upset. You have to go earn the upset. Now, having said all that, this is certainly a game that I think Carolina can win. This Notre Dame team is not as good as the one the Tar Heels saw a year ago. That's more of a comment about how good they were last year compared to this year. They have lost one of their better players on defense, probably their best player on defense, and Kyle Hamilton, their safety. He had a knee injury last game, won't be available for this game. Fortunately, it doesn't look like that's a long-term deal, but won't play in this one. Notre Dame hadn't really run the ball very well this year, although they've done it a little bit better here in their last 2 games. They've had some rotation at the quarterback spot, trying to find the right combination there. And yet, having said all of those things, they just figure out how to win. They're 6-1, as you said, and 3 of those wins they trailed in the fourth quarter, but they won. Another one of those was Florida State, that they lost a big lead but came back and won it in overtime. So this is just a team that is confident in what they're doing. They're not going to get shaken, particularly at home, very easily. And you're going to have to play a really high-quality, clean game to have an opportunity to do it. Is Carolina talented enough and good enough to win? Absolutely. Can the Tar Heels put together 60 full minutes, taking care of the little details, not having mistakes? That's the bigger question, because we just haven't seen them do that often this season, particularly away from Chapel Hill.
How palpable is the frustration, do you think, with the coaching staff when you have you have your discussions with Mac and the rest of the coaching staff about the inconsistencies with this team and not being able to close these teams out? Because as you just said, Notre Dame's finding ways to win. It almost feels like at times the Tar Heels are finding ways to lose.
I don't think there's necessarily frustration or anger or anything like that. I just think Carolina feels like it has let some things slip away. But I think they also feel like they still have plenty in front of them. And some of that speaks to the quality opponent that they have remaining, because this discussion isn't happening if Carolina goes 5-0 or 4-1 or something in these last 5 games. You talk about how instead the conversation is how strong Carolina closed the season, and look at these great wins that they had, and really got things figured out. And so I think that's where the focus is more, is that Carolina feels like, for the most part, I think that it has personnel that can be successful. Now, there's still some things that need to happen. We've talked about it. The offensive line needs to be more consistent. They've got to find some more options outside offensively. They need to be more sound as far as not letting quarterbacks out of the pocket and hurt them with their legs. So there's plenty of things to work on. But this is not 3 or 4 years ago when Carolina, talent-wise, was a long way away. We've talked about it, Tank. I think Carolina isn't where it wants to be ultimately, but I also think it's a lot closer than it has been in the last several years. And so now it's trying to take that final step, which is a hard step to take. But these are the type of games that present you the opportunity to figure out a way to take that step. Is games against Notre Dame, games against a Wake Forest team that's having its best season maybe in school history, certainly in 15 years, against a Pitt team that's having one of its best seasons in years. So the opportunities are there. The question is whether or not Carolina can take it.
And the Tar Heels sitting at 4-3. You obviously still have a great shot at not only being bowl eligible, but getting a berth into a big bowl. If you've got everything lined up here, you can find a way to win these next 3 games against ranked opponents. End up, we all want to end the season on a good note, or the regular season, I guess I should say, on a good note by beating that one team that we all hate more than anything else. But the Tar Heels really are in a spot where it's not all for naught, and you can't bury this team.
Yeah, no, and it's been interesting to me, Tank. I think kind of the feeling of the Tar Heel season on the outside versus the feeling of the season a little bit closer to the situation. Again, I don't think anybody's happy at 4-3, considering what the hopes and dreams were of this season.
Right.
But I also don't think it's, anybody's ready to burn down the house and walk away. Right. I think it has a lot more to do with those preseason and off-season expectations that were laid on Carolina, that when those aren't met and you're not a team that's in that conversation very often, then all of a sudden you're pretty quickly dismissed. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. That's the nature of sports, and that's the nature of what Carolina is dealing with and where they're trying to go and how difficult it is to get there. But there might be, and you did ask me a second ago, there might be some frustration, but I don't think it's something where it's, this isn't working at all. Well, we got to reboot the whole computer here. Right. I think it's much more of figuring out a couple small things, continuing to recruit at a high level, get some things figured out that Carolina feels like it's close to where it wants to go. And so, but again, games like this give you that opportunity to take those steps. And so I think Carolina relishes this opportunity, not just this weekend, but over the final month of the year. Yeah,
a lot has rested on Sam Howell's shoulders this year. Whether it be the good, whether it be the bad of some ill-timed, tough decisions that were made. Thinking back to the beginning of the season with the Virginia Tech game. It's been kind of up and down, but he has been a steady force for this offense, and they found that I think I'm just still awed at the way that he has been able to hang in these games, keep the team in the games, and use his legs as much as he's using his arm.
Well, I think it would be a beneficial exercise if you question, and I'm not saying you are, Tank, but if you question Sam Howell's season, I think it would be a beneficial exercise to think about where Carolina would be without Sam Howell now this year. He does not have the same level of talent, experienced talent around him, and yet he's done a pretty darn good job when you look at his numbers. 6 interceptions, higher than he wants, but he has 18 touchdowns compared to those 6. He's the number 9 leading rusher in the ACC from the quarterbacks. But regardless of position, he's in the top 10 in the league in rushing. He has more yards rushing than any Power 5 quarterback in the nation. So have there been some moments Sam Howell would like back? Yeah, I think a couple of those throws against Virginia Tech, probably some better ball security against Georgia Tech. But I think he's also given Carolina an opportunity to be successful every time he's out there. And, he will continue to try to get better, just like Carolina will try to get better. And I think you've seen, slowly but surely him finding some more connections, not just with Josh Downs, but Kamari Morales at the tight end spot. Ty Chandler's become a very valuable weapon in the Carolina offense. Antoine Greene had a big catch last ball game a couple weeks ago against Miami. So, can you start continuing, or can you continue to build those on-field relationships, which will help not just Sam Howell, but the Carolina offense in total?
You mentioned Josh Downs there. You can't talk about this Tar Heel team without talking about how great and reliable that he has been throughout the season. 60 catches on the year, and, the rest of the team seems like they're almost trying to keep up with him, just as a one-man kind of a show here. Getting ready
a lot of people are trying to keep up with him. He leads
no
the
doubt.
ACC in receptions, in receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns, right up there as well. He's had a terrific year, and I think we've talked about this thing. The value in getting some more diversity in the pass game is not simply so the numbers aren't out of whack, or so that so you can't sit here and go, "Gosh, Josh Downs the only one doing anything." That's not the value. The value is then making it easier for Josh Downs to be more effective, and making it easier for Carolina to be effective across the board, other than just Josh Downs. That's the value. It's not just to even the numbers out for the sake of evening them out. But Carolina needs to be able to stretch the field through the air a little bit more, something they have done very well in the previous 2 years, but have not done as well as far as the deep shot. They still have some long touchdowns, but a lot of those are shorter passes that then turn into longer plays. So they could stretch that field a little bit more. They could be a little bit more consistent in what I'll call the traditional run game. I think that would help and open things up in what Carolina wants to do as well. But just because Josh Downs has the ball in his hands a bunch isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think you and I would both agree that he's Carolina's best skill position player at this point. And so you're trying to get the ball to Josh Downs. If he only had 15 touches right now, we'd be sitting here going, why aren't they getting the ball to Josh Downs more?
Right.
And so it's much more about just distributing the ball, diversifying that attack, because then it becomes easier to do other things. It's not just for the sake of giving it to somebody else.
Well, the North Carolina Tar Heels trying to do something this weekend that has never been done by a Tar Heel football team. Win at Notre Dame. That seems...
Yeah, that's right. 19 and 2, Notre Dame leads the series. So it's been very one-sided, and should be a great atmosphere. Tank, almost 80,000 fans, night game, big stage. So it should be a lot of fun. I think you have to approach it that way. And again, Carolina is good enough to win this game. But they've got to play at a high level, and if they do that, they're going to have a chance to do it.
Yep, and Jones, you will have the call for us right here on ESPN Asheville and the Tar Heel Radio Network. Coming up Saturday night, 6:30 pregame, 7:30 is the kickoff time. Tar Heels at Notre Dame, and also we're only a little over a week away from basketball season.
Yeah, there'll be an exhibition game for Carolina a week from tomorrow. First regular season game about a week and a half away. It's the Tuesday after that. I think it's maybe November the 9th. I think it's the date, Tank, when Carolina hosts Loyola of Maryland. And so the Hubert Davis era about to begin in Chapel Hill. Really excited about that. Been to practice a bunch here recently to try to keep up with them as well. And I think the guys are excited, and there's an urgency there because you can feel that the season is close. And so I think this is a deep team. I think Carolina's raised the talent level, both with recruiting and transfers, and so it should be a lot of fun just to see what a Hubert Davis team is like, because we don't really know. And so looking forward to start figuring out all those answers here coming up in the next few days.
Well, we were sitting at SoCon Media Days earlier this week. I guess it was Tuesday over at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, and I was sitting at the table with Porky Spencer, who said he's made plenty of trips over to Tar Heel practice and said to expect big things from Hubert Davis and the Tar Heels this year. And, it's Carolina basketball. The expectations don't get too much higher than that around the entire country. Of course, we will have all of the coverage of Tar Heel basketball for you right here on ESPN Asheville, including that big showdown in Chapel Hill with the UNC Asheville Bulldogs. It's only about another month or so away. Can't wait for it, Jones. We always appreciate you taking out the time for us, brother. Be safe on the road up to Notre Dame this weekend, and we'll catch you on Saturday.
Sounds good, Tank. Look forward to talking with you next week.
Yes, sir. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. Coming up after the break, we'll talk some more college football.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, we've been talking about this big Pacific front crossing the country all week long, and here it comes up from the west and southwest with half-inch rains for Asheville tonight. Moving northeast, low 46 degrees. Quarter-inch rains tomorrow, high 53, and some pretty good wind out there for tonight out of the southeast ahead of this front. Then light showers Saturday, high 55. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 eastbound, stop and go after New Stock Road and continuing to Riverside Drive. Construction in the stretch. 26 east and westbound slow between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound near George's Branch Road. Expect delays. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road north and southbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road slow. I'm Lee Benfield with your time saver traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans! DQ invites you all to join them for Miracle Treat Day on October 28th. For every Blizzard sold, $1 or more will be donated to your local Children's Miracle Network hospital, making Miracle Treat Day the most satisfying way to give back. Visit your DQ on October 28th.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Festivals, football, the great outdoors. Some people say fall is the best time of the year. It may also be a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
Sportsocracy.
Hey, I go to church, just not during televised sporting events.
It's ESPN Asheville. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene. This is the Sportsocracy. Don't forget you can join in all of the fun as well online. YouTube.com/thesportsocracy. Watch us do the radio show. Just another way to get in touch with the program as well. Join the chat and throw out topics. We love to answer questions immediately on the fly. It's one of the great things that the interwebs allows us to do. In fact, we had a great time this morning. Threadbare Thursdays all throughout the NFL season. We are going to continue that tradition because, frankly, we just love talking to all of you.
We like fans.
Mm-hmm.
Even fans that tell us, to do things that are not anatomically possible, and ones that say ugly things to us on the interweb.
Anyhow, college football coming up this weekend. Jeremy, do you agree? Do you agree with Jones Angel that Carolina can win this game against Notre Dame?
Oh, Carolina, Notre Dame.
Oh, okay. That may be in a green-on-green pick, apparently. Boye's showed up. I love it when a Boye shows up in the comment section. All the Tigers show up. He's a big Bengals fan.
And he's one that actually never told me to do anything that was anatomically impossible.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons you're my favorite.
You see the Tigers in there, and you may think we're talking college football. LSU Tigers. No. Did you see the story that came out of LSU today?
Is it about Ed Orgeron?
Yeah.
Go Tigers. What weird thing did he do now?
No, he canceled their practices.
Because they didn't have enough players.
So they didn't have enough players to participate.
They've got about 47 of them in the transfer portal. So.
Wow, that thing is just a dumpster fire at this point.
At this point, when you tell me, because I didn't know exactly what you were talking about.
Right.
At this point, when you say, did you hear the story out of LSU? And I asked, did it have to do with Ed Orgeron? There is literally nothing that would surprise me. If you told me he rode into today's practice on a tiger, I would go, yeah, that sounds about right.
Right.
There's nothing that surprises me about that.
Yeah. Canceled practice yesterday. There was supposed to be a scrimmage today. He canceled that as well. Just said, we don't have no players.
We ain't got no players.
We all hurt.
I got a date tonight at the Olive Garden.
And for some reason, she's bringing her son along.
Tour of Italy and unlimited soup, salad, breadsticks. It's going to be fantastic.
We love picking on Coach O. He's still one of our favorites. I want to just hang out with him.
He's got plenty of free time on his hands.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that Ed Orgeron and me at the Wicked Weed Brew Pub downtown would just be a grand old time.
Yes.
What's in this beer? I don't know, Coach. That's fine. It tastes delicious. Go Tigers.
Obviously, the headline of the weekend, the number one game everybody wants to watch. It's the world's largest cocktail party.
Oh, you're not allowed to call it that.
I know I'm not allowed to, but you know what?
I'm still yet to figure out why. I know there's a reason, but I don't know what it is.
Alcohol. That was the whole thing about it. It was, it's college kids, and we don't want to encourage drinking. Like, this is what SEC football is all about. It's about getting drunk on a Saturday and yelling at the other fans, yelling for your team, and hopefully you can draw the line at not throwing batteries and golf balls onto the field like Tennessee fans do.
You had to take the shot
I
at
did.
Tennessee. You just can't help yourself.
I can't.
At Sports Take ESPN. That's his. Take your hate and throw it at him.
Yeah, no, I had to make a pit stop in between the shows today and talk to a really nice Tennessee fan that works behind the counter at my favorite spot to go get my my disposable vape things, and he was like, "So yeah, about that whole Tennessee thing." And I was like, "Oh, are you off your team?" He's like, "No, but I've never been more disappointed in my team." And I was like, "Good, You absolutely should be disappointed." He said, "I've never been more embarrassed to be a Tennessee fan." And those are the kind of Tennessee fans that I will go, you are right on, buddy.
And that's the vast majority of them.
Of course it is.
I mean, we've all, as sports fans, had, bleak days.
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, as a Jets fan, I genuinely couldn't pin it down to one. I mean, I could write a book about the days of sadness that I've had. Sunday was one. Hashtag Jets plus 7.
It's never going to let me live it down.
Nope, never.
Number 1, Georgia takes on Florida down in Jacksonville on Saturday. I'm still cautiously optimistic. Still cautiously optimistic because that is the one team that I cannot say anything against. Like I can feel, I feel emboldened to say, man, my Red Sox are going to go to the World Series. Even though I didn't expect them to be at the beginning of the year, I'll still boldly say it. I am not making any definitive statements about these Georgia Bulldogs because every time I do, it ends up backfiring in my face. So no definitive statements other than this is a really darn good team. You're going to love what you see on the field from the defense. Can't wait.
Oh, you're talking about Georgia, Florida?
Yeah. Good for you. In the Big Ten, there's 2 big matchups on Saturday. And Michigan, heavy favorite in my mind, over Michigan State.
Oh, Michigan State. For those of you that are new to the program, anytime a bell rings,
Angel gets its wings.
Gets its wings.
Good for you. And then you got Ohio State and Penn State as well. Huge game this weekend.
Unfortunately, that number was big enough that I looked at it and went,
I didn't even check the number on that.
It's a bunch. It's
holy
a whole
smokes.
Mess. It's a whole mess of points.
Ohio State's an 18.5-point favorite.
And I'll give you this one as a bonus. If I had wagered it, I can tell you right now I'd be on Ohio State. By the way, we have a poll going right now, and this led from the chat. Is Ed Orgeron an Olive Garden guy or an Applebee's guy? And look, I'm talking about on a date. Because Ed Orgeron is 100% a guy that goes to an Applebee's and crushes dollar marks. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, so this is if Ed Orgeron is
on
taking
his Applebee's Olive Garden. Feel free to go to YouTube right now. Vote on the poll. See, for me, it's
no contest.
Oh, see, here's my thought, and you walk down the process with me. I feel like Ed Orgeron is at Applebee's at 5:00 every day, just crushing dollar marks. There's no doubt about that. Dollar LITs, that's got Ed Orgeron written all over it. And I feel like he's there often enough that when he's got a date, he doesn't necessarily want to cross, the bartenders know me at Applebee's. I have to know all the secrets.
Right.
And that's how he ends up at Olive Garden.
Yes.
That's me defending my stance. And that is why you should watch this on YouTube, because that conversation came straight out of the chat box.
Yeah, he's definitely an Olive Garden guy. That's the classier way to treat your lady, to take her to the Olive Garden.
Unlimited soup, salad, breadsticks. Go Tigers.
I just can't see Ed Orgeron on, taking a date out to, 5-star restaurant down in the French Quarter.
No.
No.
There's no Peter Lugers with Ed Orgeron. No. You're lucky that you didn't end up at that restaurant where the waitresses wear orange shorts. You deduce from that what you want to.
Yeah.
You take that wherever you please.
Yeah, see, you keep throwing that Jets plus 7. Thank you, Stephen Tao. See, I had the balls to take the Titans when nobody else did last week, and won.
You still took the Jets plus 7. Okay. That's kind of like saying, well, I got home from work driving my car. Yeah, but you knocked out 14 mailboxes on the way.
Hey, look, we didn't say that there wasn't collateral damage.
The car is bleeding. I've never actually seen a car bleed. I don't think I could give you credit for that.
We didn't say there wasn't collateral damage, but it got the job done.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
All right, we've already talked about Halloween's coming up this weekend. If you haven't gotten your costumes yet, be sure to go over and hit our friends over at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall parking lot. Halloween Express, they've got the largest selection in the area of all the things that you need, accessories, costumes, decorations, all of that stuff. They don't sell the big bags of the candy, though. Like, you got to go somewhere else. You got to go to Ingles to get your big bags of candy.
Low prices, love the savings.
Exactly. And Popular Mechanics has done us a favor here. They've given us the calculator now, or the formula for how to determine how much candy you need to buy and not have a bunch left over. Here's where you went wrong. That's part of the goal of Halloween, is to buy more candy than you need so you got candy left over. I mean, for, the weight challenged of the group here.
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
Yep.
That's all I can think about as you were saying that.
Yep. They have come up with the formula here that you need to go time times kids times generosity. So how much time are the trick-or-treaters out? So if it's 2 hours, 3 hours, you need to take that, times that by the number of kids you get every hour, and then you need to multiply that number by your generosity level. How many pieces of candy you give out to each one.
This is thinking entirely too hard about how to give out Halloween candy.
Oh, I understand.
Just buy a bag of it, and when you're done, turn the light out. This is not that hard.
Can't. That's how you get egged, man. You can't turn the lights out before the party's over.
No, that's how you get egged. I don't ever get egged. Do I look like the kind of person who you would go, yeah, let's egg his house?
Oh, I'm gonna.
That 6'5", 280-pound monstrosity of a human. Yeah, let's go do that. That's a grand idea.
Have you? Have you ever participated in giving out candy at Halloween?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, now I live in a condo, so
right. But like this year, do you have a bunch of kids that live in the complex? That are you going to leave something out in the stairwell?
I'll be 100% honest with you. You can tell me that the building I live in is not actually residented by anyone but us, and I would believe it. I've never seen another human in my building.
Oh yeah, except for the guy who held the door for you when you got locked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
God bless that guy, because I did not know the code of that door. So.
Okay. I mean, like in my neighborhood, we don't have a whole bunch of kids. I mean, we have enough, but usually I can buy like one big bag of candy, the 150 piece. And I can give everybody a giant handful and still have some left over. Actually, the way it really goes is I go and buy 3 bags of candy 3 weeks before Halloween. And then the night before Halloween, I got to go buy at least 2 more bags of candy for the kids to come by.
By the way, if you'd had the over-under on how long does this story take, I would have said 3.5 minutes baseline when he told me my weird story's about candy.
Right. I love candy. But they also give helpful hints in Popular Mechanics, not only about how you can calculate how much candy you need to buy, but they also tell you how you can survive the Halloween season without eating so much of the candy.
Self-control, is that not a thing?
No. They suggest you basically be the bad neighbor. You either buy stuff that nobody wants, or you just buy like little trinket toys and like vampire fangs and stuff like that.
Look,
to hand out.
Let me break down Halloween to you in like 2 sentences. Give out full-size Snickers. Oh, wait, that's just 1 sentence, and we're done. You can buy them at Sam's for like $20 for a bajillion of them.
Right.
And every kid in the neighborhood will love you. And when you need your leaves raked, they'll come take your $10 to rake your leaves. This is not that hard. This is one of those. This is a problem that no one should have.
So wait, are you saying that the engineers that ride over at Popular Mechanics are overthinking things?
100%.
No,
I don't actually know what Popular Mechanics is.
It's a website, and they do a lot of science stuff, like space things and Earth things and architecture and.
This sounded like a car magazine to me, and that's why I would have never heard of it.
It's not. It's a little bit more than that. It's an engineering magazine.
Yeah, and that's why their houses catch eggs and mine doesn't.
This is very true.
And although I haven't mowed a blade of grass in about 7 years.
Although they did have a brilliant idea in here that I had never thought of. Little Debbie snack cakes.
Oh,
you win the day.
Oh, by the way, I don't know how we hadn't talked about this yet. Little Debbie's making ice cream now.
Uh-huh.
And it's ice cream of Christmas,
Christmas
tree
trees.
cakes.
Yeah.
And I need to know.
Did you try it?
I haven't yet, but I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that Matt Mitchell tried it, and it looked phenomenal.
I feel like that should be our next food video.
No, our next food video is the Arby's rib sandwich against the McRib.
That's right. That's right. You've got to prove to yourself once and for all that is just
okay. I know exactly how this is going to go. The video will come out tomorrow, and I can't say exactly what it is that I want to say on this FCC-regulated show, so you'll have to go to youtube.com, /sportsocracy.
Yeah. We all know how this is going to go. You're going to take a bite of each sandwich, and then you're going to fake it like the McRib is actually better than real meat.
There's nothing fake about it. Many of you remember BJ Novak from The Office. He played Ryan. The weird little nerdy guy?
Yeah.
Well, he's an international pitchman. He does all kinds of ads and things like that. And apparently he does a lot of them for companies that he's neither heard of nor was ever paid for.
Oh, okay.
Apparently now he's a Calvin Klein cologne model in Sweden. And he's on a series of different face paints in Uruguay. And he was asked today because apparently somebody found these on his Instagram. He's been saving them under modeling.
Uh-huh.
Somebody put his face into one of those public domain sites, and companies have just been using his hey, that face looks familiar. You just use him. So now he's a spokesperson for 200 different companies, none of which he has ever been paid for. And he thinks it's hilarious. His quote was, "Years ago, someone mistakenly put an image of me on a public domain site, and now apparently I'm on products all over the world, but I'm too amused to do anything about it."
Mm-hmm.
That is the ideal response to that, which makes me really want to put my face in a public domain site and just see what weird things I could be.
They'll look at it and go, "That's homeless commercial."
Bingo.
You'll wind up in some kind of
matchsticks for trash can fires.
UNICEF commercial or something like that.
Let's see. What else? Blankets. I look like a guy that would like a good blanket.
No, you know exactly what you are. You're Joey Tribbiani when he wound up on the AIDS poster in the subway.
How you doing? Yeah. I don't care.
How do you get rid of venereal diseases? Just ask Jeremy Greene.
Hi.
He's the chief. He's the chief.
I resent that.
You resemble that, you meant to say. Mm-hmm. I think that's really what you meant. In college football, so the executives of bowl season have written a letter, and they sent it out to everybody. Every head coach, every decision maker involved in college football, and they said, you know what? When it comes time to expand the playoff, if that is what happens, you need to use the current bowl structure or the current bowl games instead of having campus sites if you go to a 12-team tournament.
And that is stupid.
Disagree.
Okay, explain it to me. Because there's one great big fatal flaw with this that nobody seems to be thinking about.
Okay.
First of all, you're going to lose revenue doing this way. You do realize that, right?
How so?
All right, so we'll use the Outback Bowl. All right, that's one of the ones that would be in this formula.
Okay.
Which do you think more people are going to show up to? Coastal Carolina and the fifth best team out of the SEC, or it's the best non-playoff bowl and you catch, let's say, Florida and Michigan. Which one do you think more people are going to come to? This is not going to be the revenue boon in the stadium that you think it is. Where this is played means virtually nothing. It would make some money for the school where you play it, and it would be a home field advantage, which, that kind of makes sense. You got here, and you got home field, so that you see how those two things line up?
No, I understand.
As opposed to that, we're going to play, let's have the first-round matchup between Alabama and, let's think of a team that would be on the backside of this, Penn State in the Pinstripe Bowl. We'll do it at Yankee Stadium. Really? You think that's a grand idea?
Oh, you're going to get way more people to show up for that game than you would whatever else is going to be in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Oh, you mean you would get more people for that than you would get in Tuscaloosa, Alabama to show up for it?
Oh.
People would still show up to these bowl games. I understand why you're saying this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying to the committee, you should take one look at this and go, that's a cute thought. And then that should go into file 9 right beside your desk.
Now, I've always thought that was going to be the path, that they would incorporate the bowls in the playoff.
And that is stupid. Why would you want to do that?
Well, no, you already do it.
Because, so you're telling me this is going to look better on television, playing this in a place that may or may not make any geographic sense whatsoever, as opposed to playing it on the home field of one of these teams. It's going to look better on television.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned last year, crowds matter.
Oh, yeah.
They matter, and they matter a lot.
Yeah.
There's literally not one bit of that makes any sense to me.
But the fans will travel. They will travel to go see
not
their team.
In the. I mean, yes, they will, but not in the same. The traveling fan is not the same. It's not that same gumption as having the student section. It's just not.
Oh, of course.
And college students are not going to be able to travel in large part to these regional specific locations that are bowl games.
Yeah. Well, you know what this is all about. I
mean,
this is
you're trying to stay relevant.
Exactly.
Because when we go to a 12-team playoff, now all of a sudden the Outback Bowl doesn't matter all that much anymore.
No, because you're going to get the 28th and 40th best teams in the country.
It won't be that high. I mean, you'll still be getting formidable teams. The high-end bowls, you'll still be getting good teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you a little secret that I don't, for some reason, think that these bowl entities have figured out. You didn't matter anyway. As soon as we went to the 4-team bowl structure, you didn't matter in large part anyway. You know why we watched it? Because it was on television. ESPN figured this out a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really have to matter. We'll watch college and pro football just because it's on television, which is why this is the first Thursday night game that has been even reasonably a modicum of watchable since week 1. Because you'll just watch it. It doesn't matter. The Bulls are worried about this. This is an added revenue stream. You don't need to start combining things. That's stupid. What's smart is keep the bowls existing as they are and put them on other days.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what bowls still get, even though they don't matter? The Alamo Bowl. This is always, don't ask me why. This has always been the bowl that when I see the number, I go, why do that many people watch this game? It doesn't mean anything.
The Alamo Bowl.
Oh, it was Texas, and I don't remember who they played last year. It was like Texas and Colorado or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely meaningless. And it still did like a 2.4 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was higher than every regular season NBA game had been for the entire year.
Yeah, you're right. It was Texas and Colorado last year.
And it did a stupid number.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Don't create problems where there are not problems. College football has no lack of people wanting to watch it. None.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to shoehorn these things in together, that's very short-sighted. Here's how you do this. I'm fine with the way it's set up because the way it looks is it'll be the 6 highest rated conference champions and then the 6 highest rated at-large teams.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. 4 highest conference champions get buys. 2 conference champions go into the first round. They get home dates. So we play 4 home dates and you get some team out of the SEC that's hosting a game. You'll get the small school, and the small school will travel in some record capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Coastal Carolina is the one that's in my head.
Right.
Cincinnati. They will travel in droves.
Yes.
And so you're still going to get a really good college atmosphere. The alternative is, okay, we're having this first round college football playoff game between Alabama and Cincinnati, and we're playing it in, Glendale, Arizona at the Fiesta Bowl. Do you see how stupid that sounds out loud? Like, I understand what you're trying to do, but why did you not think about this before you sent that email? Like, okay, we got to find a way to make this work. but I've written this down, and that doesn't make any sense. So let's crumple that up and try again.
Yeah, but think about it from the perspective of the bowl, that the bowl is not going to get as good of a matchup because of the playoff. And so they're thinking of it of, we're still going to get Alabama fans and whoever is in this playoff game to show up in Glendale, whereas otherwise, like I said, it's going to end up being the 18th and the 25th best teams in the country.
Do you know what the alternative would be in that? The number one rated Pac-12 team, which is, by the way, USC, that doesn't make it, and the highest rated Big 12 team that doesn't make it. So you would get USC and Texas my way, or you would get Alabama freight training Cincinnati.
Right.
They're going to rate very close to each other.
Okay.
I mean, in the first day part of that will rate great, and then Alabama's going to be up by 4 touchdowns, and nobody will care.
Right.
Or
I don't know. I just feel like there would be way more exposure for the sponsors of those bowl games if it's part of the playoff.
They get plenty of exposure as it is. And you know what? If you sell it to somebody else, if Tostitos wants to sponsor a first-round playoff game, I'll bet they'll let them. It's not the sponsors. The sponsors will get plenty of exposure anyway.
Right.
This is the Bowls trying to stay relevant because they have this misguided thought that if the 12 teams go into the playoff, now we just don't matter. Well, you don't really matter now. And we still watch it in large part. It's just misguided to me.
It's the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
This is your time-saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 eastbound slow after Newstock Road. And continuing towards Riverside Drive. 26 eastbound slow between I-40 and Bavard Road. Then 26 east and westbound slow between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road slow from Sand Hill Road, moving towards Pond Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound slow. Near Long Shoals Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road northbound slow between Long Shoals Road and Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road. Delays. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
From the DuckDuckGo for Privacy Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans. DQ invites you all to join them for Miracle Treat Day on October 28th. For every Blizzard sold, $1 or more will be donated to your local Children's Miracle Network hospital, making Miracle Treat Day the most satisfying way to give back. Visit your DQ on October 28th.
Friday, October 29th. Don't miss Columbia, Nashville recording artist Cameron Marlowe on the Silverados outdoor stage. Tickets at silveradoswnc.com. North Carolina native Cameron Marlowe live in Black Mountain at Silverados. Get your tickets today at silveradoswnc.com. Don't miss Cameron Marlowe, Friday, October 29th.
You don't get to be the league's all-time leading rusher without feeling some pain.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith knows joint pain, and he also knows the old treatments aren't the only treatments. Today, there's a natural alternative to drugs and surgery. It's biologic therapies from QC Kinetics.
I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself.
Do you have pain in your hips, knees, shoulder, lower back? Want to get your life back? The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics can help.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain.
Don't put it off. Call QC Kinetics. Restorative, regenerative solutions with no downtime and lasting results.
Don't let your joint pain keep you from doing the things you love. There's a new natural solution that patients are raving about.
QC Kinetics.
Make the call to QC Kinetics. Tell them Emmitt Smith sent you.
Call QC Kinetics. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics. 333-9517.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway. After retiring from the NFL, I've embraced my new role coaching my kids in their youth sports. Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to train, screen, and educate all of our basketball coaches. Visit trustedcoaches.org to learn more. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, barely keeping up.
But to cruise through challenges, you need someone who's right there with you. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice you need to get past whatever's in front of you and get where you want to go. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Exam 4 needs to be sanitized.
Mersana's MRI clinic isn't operating at max efficiency. She needs a new certified tech certifiably now.
Someone's waiting in room 2 for an ACL scan. Can you handle that?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here in Beer City, we take homegrown seriously. And since 2012, Wicked Weed Brewing has been pushing the boundaries of the industry. They've not only created staples like the Freak of Nature Double IPA, the Lieutenant Dank, and Pernicious, but they also opened the first sour beer tap room on the East Coast. Wicked Weed has also supported our local community to the tune of $1.6 million with the Beers That Build program. Visit one of their 4 locations, schedule a brewery tour, or place an order for pickup or delivery. WickedWeedBrewing.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Oh, yeah, we got Thursday Night Football coming up tonight. We get the Arizona Cardinals and the Green Bay Packers without any receivers. By the way, Randall Cobb, I mean, are you coming around to he's a fantasy play for tonight?
I mean, he's fine. I'm not excited about it.
Well, no, you shouldn't be excited about it, but I mean,
he's
at least
a living, breathing receiver on this team, which there's not many of.
I was going to say, without Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard and no Marquez Valdez-Scantling being, reinstated from the IR.
Activated.
Yeah, activated, thank you. I mean, that's like 13 extra targets that could go Randall Cobb's way.
Yeah, they're not going to.
They're not going to. This is not going to happen. All right. I was trying to find Randall Cobb a little bit of love on the program today, but apparently that's not going to happen. So Jeremy saw this in between the break. PETA.
I saw this earlier.
PETA. Wow, PETA. I don't have great things to say about PETA, but they're really focusing on the hard-hitting issues. Obviously, with the World Series going on right now, baseball's at the top of people's minds, and they want them to outlaw a certain term, the bullpen, because that's where, as they say, terrified bulls are kept before the slaughter. And they need a more animal-friendly term for the bullpen in baseball.
I'll be honest with you, I've watched and played a lot of baseball in my life. I had never put those two things together until today.
Nope.
Never thought about it, not one time.
Nope.
But the best part of this, what do they want to call the bullpen?
They want to call it the arm barn.
The arm barn.
And we're going to make the Verizon Wireless call to the arm barn.
I would just love to know who typed that out. Like, if you want to change the name, that's fine. That's your prerogative to want that changed. How did you go, yeah, they'll accept this.
Yeah.
This is a very...
it's dumb. It's dumb. You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We will see you tomorrow afternoon at 3. Don't forget, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, we will have all your game previews for the weekend action in the NFL.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Well, we've been talking about this big Pacific front crossing the country all week long, and here it comes up from the west and southwest with half-inch rains for Asheville tonight. Moving northeast, low 46 degrees. Quarter-inch rains tomorrow, high 53, and some pretty good wind out there for tonight out of the southeast ahead of this front. Then light showers Saturday, high 55. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer. Come rain or shine. High winds or mild breezes. Blue skies or gray. It's a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. Future 26 eastbound slow after New Stock Road. and continuing towards Riverside Drive. 26 eastbound slow between I-40 and Bavard Road, then 26 east and westbound slow between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound slow between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road near Inca Village. Sardis Road slow from Sand Hill Road moving towards Pond Road. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road north and southbound slow near Long Shoals Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road northbound slow between Long Shoals Road and Mills Gap Road.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225C.